This is kind of a weird place to come from, but I just wanted to kind of switch it up, do something different. None of this behind me is real. It's all AI generated, of course. Honestly, I don't know what we're talking about. My name is Nick Brengle. This is my YouTube channel. This is a podcast that I do kind of whenever I want. And yeah, we just kind of talk about life and things happening, movies and TV and all the other fun stuff that is outside of that is also. I recently saw a bunch of movies and TV shows over the past months that you haven't seen me. And I also did some traveling. I also did some work. I have been writing. I have been sleeping sometimes. I have been eating different kinds of food. And all of that has kind of, yeah, well, how can I say this? It it's been something, that's for sure. No, but seriously, I have been doing all kinds of stuff. I've been meaning to do this podcast all the time. I'm like, I'll do it every other week and I'll just, hit record and do it. And then it just doesn't happen. And then I make a note. I have a whole list. I keep notes of things that I'd want to talk about, like movies I've seen, different subjects, random things, pet peeves, whatever. And now my iPad's way over there. So I don't even know what I wrote down. And honestly, I don't even know why I hit record, but we're going to do something anyway. So, first, we're going to talk about whatever pops into my head. So, we saw Beetlejuice, which is the sequel to the 89, 88, whenever that original came out. And Tim Burton, of course, he's legendary for many, many films. Some of my favorites of his, Beetlejuice being one of them, Edward Scissorhands, Nightmare Before Christmas. And he's made some ones in there that I don't really like at all, but that's okay. It's Tim Burton. He could do whatever he wants. So I went into Beetlejuice, very low expectations, super low expectations. And I was pleasantly surprised. I enjoyed it. I thought it felt as if it was in the same universe as Beetlejuice. The visual style, the cinematography was spot on. There was musical numbers. I think it adhered to what the original did. And also, Michael Keaton, I think in the original was only on screen for 13 minutes or something like that. I don't remember the exact number. And he wanted to make sure it stayed true to the first Beetlejuice, where he wasn't the main attraction per se. It was the plot and what was going on around Beetlejuice. And so I think they did well to do that again instead of making it something that it's not. And so, yeah, it's worth a watch. I appreciated it. If you're not on Letterboxd, get on there. I'll put my link somewhere, and that's where I do, the movie reviews. Sometimes I type a little review or just give it, the star rating. So yeah, Beetlejuice. And I've watched some other stuff. I watched Dream Scenario finally with Nicolas Cage, which was unreal. I don't even want to say too much about it. It's a phenomenal film. Go watch it. I believe it's on Max right now, HBO. It's an A24 movie, which if you know about A24, then that's it. You just say, hey, it's an A24 movie, so it's going to be a little off the beaten path of your regular Hollywood films. They're not independent films. They're not these big Hollywood blockbusters. They're somewhere in the middle. Although another movie that I just watched that I wish I had seen in the theater was Civil War. And Alex Garland is one of my favorite filmmaker / writers of all time. The guy, for 28 Days Later, to Ex Machina, Annihilation, and now Civil War, he does something that is just very special, at least to me, as somebody who is pursuing that, creating stuff from scratch, writing, creating an entire world for people to come into and witness. He has kind of reinvented himself within this same kind of genre universe that's unique to his style. And Civil War, again, I did kind of go in with low expectations. I don't know why. I just thought, this maybe this won't be that great. Maybe this will be a little different from, what he's done. Although Annihilation, if you haven't seen that with Natalie Portman, he went way off the deep end and I loved it. So, anyway, let's reel it back. Civil War, exactly what it was supposed to be. It was a perfect, no pun intended, portrait of these journalists and photographers who are navigating their way south to do an interview with the president. And civil war is just well underway, and so it was very powerful, very disturbing, and very real, very much just lathered with just disturbing possibilities for our future, um, which kind of brings the subject away from movies and into the real world. And that is, the world has been consistently a place of possibilities and also of just terror. And we're experiencing that, over the course of our lives and our parents' lives and generations. But things feel very different right now. I think our country is very divided, and that's intentional, in some ways. And the rest of the world is just watching and waiting to see what it is America does, what decisions we make, and as we sit back in our privileged world that we've built here, we get to witness the atrocities of what's happening in Israel and Palestine, and now Lebanon, and what is happening in the Ukraine, and what's happening right here, on our own soil with our border policies and people starving who maybe live within a 10-mile radius of where I live, and just people struggling. And so a lot of that has been very heavy on me lately. I don't, I know I'm not alone in that, but yeah, so it's too late to register to vote. So I think it's too late for the most part, I believe, but please go vote. And and not just in for the presidential election, although that is very important. And I will sit here and tell you that I am 100% voting for, obviously not Donald Trump. That should be obvious. There is just no world where somebody like that belongs in power. And but more importantly than that, are voting for your local governments, your state, whatever's on the ballot in your state, and get involved and voting for Congress and senators, and sending people here to DC where I live, to actually implement some change and do some good things, because there are pockets of a lot of good things happening, but unfortunately, the media cycle and what is pushed in front of us on a daily basis is a lot of the bad things that are happening. And we could fix so much of it, but people are greedy and people are nasty. So anyway, so get out and vote and make it count, because every vote does count. Although if you live in a bubble like I do, sometimes it feels as if your vote doesn't, like, it collectively just is one vote, wherever you are. But I'm in a swing state, Virginia. My home state of Florida is obviously up for grabs, I think. There's just, with women's rights and legalizing cannabis, and just who we are going to put in charge of our country is pretty paramount to what the rest of the world decides they will do next, i.e., China, the Middle East, Russia, uh, just the plethora of crazy things that it could happen. So Yeah, so let's get off and I'm gonna go grab my iPad. Hold on. Okay, I got my iPad. Let me just pull up my let me pull up my notes. I hope I'm still in focus. I checked, but also earlier, I don't know if you made this mistake before, but I run my follow focus and my camera off of a uh, V mount battery, and my follow focus just kept turning off. So I thought something was like devastatingly wrong, and I was gonna have to update the firmware or get rid of the thing completely. Turns out my V mount was just about to die, so my camera turned off, and then obviously I figured out what was the issue. Let me pull this up. Where did I put it? Let's talk about AI, because on this channel, if you've been around, I've talked a lot about different AI things, and took taken deep dives into Mid Journey and Runway and ChatGPT and all of that. But if you have not checked out Notebook LM by Google, which is powered by Gemini, which is their ChatGPT or their AI person person, um, check it out. It's free, and the craziest thing about it, this blew me away more than AI generated art, more than ChatGPT even, is that Notebook LM, how it works is you kind of create your own personal AI in a sense. So you have these notebooks, you supply it with files and websites and videos, whatever documentation you want it to have. And then you have a conversation with only that material. And it's really good for studying and learning new things, and kind of extrapolating a bunch of information and putting it down into like a digestible form. And what is so crazy is that it will generate a podcast for your material. So I uploaded Singularity, which is the short film that I am now fully in pursuit of, and we'll be launching a funding campaign in the spring. And you will be hearing so much about this as the months go on. I gave it the screenplay, the extended synopsis, the character uh, profiles, everything. And it spit out this like 9-minute podcast that was unreal. It sounded like two real people talking about something I wrote that hasn't even been made. And the AI was able to explain parts of the story that I understood but could not comprehend and put back out to anybody else. Like I couldn't explain it the way that they did. And it was just, it blew my mind, and it's unreal. So go check out Notebook LM. Just go do it. Trust me, it's worth it. Um, Let me see here. What else do we got? Okay. Oh God, I've had the Blackmagic cinema camera for a couple of months now, and it's just unbelievable. I'm still loving it. So I just have new BMCC written down. It's incredible. The L mount has been phenomenal. I actually just recently, and I'm not going to get up to get it, but I did recently get um, a lens from, is it BTK or BKT lenses? Anyway, they're based out of the Ukraine, and they rehouse old lenses, vintage lenses. And I purchased a 37 millimeter Mirror 2 anamorphic lens that was rehoused. I have not really played with it at all yet because it has been raining consistently, and I want to get outside and shoot some stuff with it. I was recommended purchasing this through what's Of Two Lands, which one of the best channels on YouTube by far. So go check it out. I'll put the link somewhere as well. Um, and I have not seen this lens used really anywhere on YouTube, and specifically with the Blackmagic cinema camera. So I'm excited to test that out and kind of give you some different perspective on how it looks. It has some really crazy bokeh, some kind of interesting swirly looking bokeh. So yeah, that'll be interesting to check out. So I will definitely, you'll, you'll see it at some point. I don't know. What else can we touch on? I have mentioned this before about a gaming channel that is mine on YouTube. Uh, it's called Bonehead Dayz, And if you don't know about Dayz, I'm not going to explain it for the millionth time, but it's a game that I play on PlayStation 5, and I record gameplay, and then I make videos, different little kind of almost like short films, different edits, whether it's like PvP action or more of a short film with just a lot of like PvE and just conversation with my teammates. But I have just now gone over a year where I kind of said I'm going to take it more seriously and start uploading a bunch of content with a goal. Like I want to hit a goal, and a little over a year now. I have the numbers. I forgot. It's let me pull up the numbers here. Hold on, because I know I have it. I know I have it here. Hold on. Where is it at? Yeah. 173 uploads in 1 year, 45 of which were YouTube shorts. That's insane. Okay, so I was uploading at an incredible rate. Over the course of the year, I gained 2,800 new subscribers. We are less than 80 subscribers away from 3,000. So that's in 1 year. 27,000 watch hours. And what? So yeah, pretty cool. If you don't know what Dayz is, go check it out. Go check out the channel. You'll hear my voice in the videos. Um, and if somehow you put me and that channel together, you know, mum's the word. I'm kind of trying to wait to do a face reveal and kind of tell people, who it is, that's the voice they've been hearing, because with that channel, the growth and success that it has had, it's not completely just from playing a game that is popular. Obviously, there's a sense of, production quality and editing and music and using creating AI generated intros. And so there's a lot of elements that I have incorporated to help the channel be successful and also being consistent. I think it's almost the most perfect example of being consistent and almost to a T, like really, really, really consistent. And that just shows, people want to come back and watch your stuff. And also not being, in the gaming world, there's just so much toxicity and there's so much negativity and racism and just bad language and just a lot of that homophobia, xenophobia, all that comes to the forefront, whether it's in a Reddit thread or, online gaming, you get it. And so I have made it a point to be myself, which is a pretty clean person, a pretty, positive presence, and also keeping out all the toxic people and energy, because that just those people are literally the worst. So I think that has also helped the channel, that kids can watch, people that don't want to hear F bombs every 3 seconds or homophobic slurs, even in just that casual conversation. I'm just not going to stand for that. So yeah, and just playing the game in a very casual, fun way instead of taking it so seriously. I'm not monetizing any of the videos, and I'm just putting it out there and putting time and energy into giving people something fun to watch and something that takes them out of the experiences that we talked about earlier in the podcast that are happening all around us all the time. So yeah, so that's been a lot of fun to continue doing that. And how long have we been going here? 20. Wow, we've been kind of just going. I hope we've been in focus. Who even knows? Let's talk about the setup here. So I'm sitting on the ground, leaned up against my bed. I got the little mini Pavo tube back there. I got my big light here. It's got like a bunch of diffusion on it. It's at like 60%. I've got a little bit of a hair light up here. You could see, the light up there, and that's really it. And then I'm just recording to the Zoom F3, and this all be open gate 422 HQ. Well, 422, maybe not HQ. And I'll color grade, in Resolve. I'll use Dehancer film emulation, which, if you don't know about Dehancer, it's a film emulation tool plugin that is, I'm speechless really about it. And it's for DaVinci Resolve, Final Cut Pro, Premiere Pro, I believe now some of the other Creative Cloud apps, I think, as well. There's the iOS app for photos and video. So there's plenty of possibilities of you getting into Dehancer. It's not the cheapest thing in the world, but it is worth it, and you will use it over and over and over again, and it will complement your toolbox of color grading. Even if you already have an established workflow, this can come right in like butter. Okay. Um, so yeah, Dehancer film emulation, and there's a link below. If you purchase it using my link, I get a little bit of that, which is kind of nice because we don't monetize all these videos, and just putting things out into the stratosphere. So wow. um, yeah. Anyway, I'm not sure what else to say. I love my wife. I love my cats. I recently visited my family in Florida. That was nice. I love all of them. And I just love being able to make videos like this and sit in my room and not feel threatened by missiles striking my home, or that there's going to be food in my fridge, or all the other crazy things that could possibly be happening. So, anyway, I will see you all later. And honestly, I don't know what any of this was, but, and I like my cadence of my voice, it starts to go a little bit different. And here we go. And now we're going. Um, it can get a little annoying, huh? Do you like the cover songs? Let me know down below. Drop questions. Let me know. Do you like when I'm uploading random cover songs? I'm working on Birds of a Feather by Billie Eyelash, of course. I recently did the Pink Pony Club, which Chapel Roan, I didn't even know who she was. And now I think that could possibly be my favorite song of the year. It's possible that Pink Pony Club could be in my top 10 all time. It's possible. When it's all said and done, I'm laying on my deathbed. I'm 107 years old, and I'm like, oh, Pink Pony Club. It's possible. Labyrinth, Chapel Roan, Max Richter, and whoever else, Ray LaMontagne, whoever else they can. I don't. At this current moment, that's just how it goes. So, okay, all right.